In, in my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I have been turning over in my mind ever since. Ever since. Whatever you feel like a criticizing anyone, he told me, just remember that all people is in this world haven't had the advantage that you have. He don't say anymore, but we have always been unusually communicative in a reserved way and understood that the myth and great deal more than that. In consequence, I am inclined to reserve all judgments and habit that has opened up many curious natures to me, and also made me the victim of not a few veteran wars. The abnormal mind is quick to detect and attach itself of this quality when it appears in a normal person, and so I came about that in college. I was unjustly accused of being a politician because I was privy to the secret grief of Wall. Unknown me, most of the confidence were unsolved. Frankly, I have feigned the sleep preoccupation of a hostile levity when I release my some on mistake signs that I am in intimate relation was Kimbering of the reason for the intimate relation of young men of the least in terms in which they express. They are usually plagiarists and married for the obvious suppression. Reserving judgment is a matter of infinite hope, and I am still a little afraid of missing something if I forget that as my father snobbishly suggested and snobbishly repeat a sense of the fundamental the senses is partially out unequally and blurred. And, and after browsing this way of my tolerance, I come to the admission that it has a limit. Conduct may be founded on the hard rock of the wet marshes, but at a certain point, I don't care what is founded. When I came back from the East last autumn, I felt that I wanted the work to be in the uniform and I had a sort of moral temptation forever. I wanted no more gratuitous excursions with the privilege and glimpses into the human heart. Only Gatsby, the man who gave his name to this book, was accepted for my reactions. Gatsby, who represents everything for which I have an unaffected scorn. Impersonality is an unbroken series of successfully gestures. Then there was something gorgeous about him, some hinting it sensitive to the promise of life, and his were related to one of those intricate machines that register were related to no one of those intricate machines that register earthquakes then thousand miles away. These responsibilities had nothing to do with the flavor impressionability which is defined under the name of the creative temperament. It was an extraordinary gift for hope, a romantic readiness such I have never found in an other personal anguish. It's not likely I shall ever find again. No, Gatsby turned out all right and the end. It is what happened prior of Gatsby, what fall those floated in the wake of these dreams that temporarily closed out my interest in the aborting sorrows and short-widened election of men. My family have been prominent when two people in this middle-western city for 3 generations. The Carrawells have something of a claim, and we have traditional that we are descended from the Dukes of Buccleuch. But the actual founder of my line was my grandfather's brother, who came here in '51, sent as a title to the Civil War, and started the wholesale and hardware business that my father carries on today. I never said this great uncle, but I am supposed to look like him, with special reference to the rather hard-boiled painting that hangs his father's office, and graduated from the New Haven 1950. It's a quarter of a century after my father, and little later I participated in the delayed Teutonic migration known as the Great War. I enjoyed the country rain so thoroughly that I came back restless, and instead of being the warm center of my world, the Middle West now seen me like the range 8 of the universe. So I decided to go east and learn the bone business. Everybody I knew was in the bone business, so I suppose it could be support one more single man, and my aunts and uncles talking is over as if they were choosing a prep school for me, and finally said, with their very grave, hesitant face, father agreed to finance me for a year, and after various delays, I come east permanently at Touch in the spring of 22. A work season as had just left a country of wild lambs and friendly trees. So when a young man and the office suggested that we take a house together in a community town, it sounded like a grand ideal. He found the house and weather between Carborn, Boogaloo, and 18 a month, but at the last minute the firm ordered him Washington and went out the country alone. I had a dog, at least I had him for a few days until he ran away, and a whole dog and finishing woman who made me bed and cooked breakfast has mostly finished wisdom to herself over the electric stove. I was lonely for a day or so until our morning some man more recently arrived and stopped me on the road. How do you get to West Egg Village? And asked help. How do you get the a Thornhill? I had a walking on. I was a lonely no longer, and was a wild pathfinder who an original shelter. He had a constantly confronting on my freedom of the neighborhood. I also wish the sunshine and the great birds of living growing of the trees, so just a thing growing in a fast movie. I had their family conviction that a life was beginning over against which the summer.